Join me tomorrow right here at 4 o'clock. Our movie, That's the Way of the World, exposing the rock and roll record scene. And maybe you'll have a chance to play this game and win yourself money.
Good evening, I'm Karen Harch. Nolan Johannes has the night off. Tonight in the news.
Residents get help to clean up this. I'm Marisa Burke at Harveys Lake. I'll have the story.
Now, water problems hit a Wyoming county town. I'm Bob Costantini.
I'm Craig Stevens, standing on a Fabridam in Sunbury that's causing some people a lot of problems.
I'm Mike Stevens in Carbon County. Life along the tracks in Jim Thorpe. Later on the Pennsylvania Road.
Tom Clark looks for more July-like weather, and Joe Zone has the first in a 5-part series on the Olympics. Newswatch 16 is next.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. Now it's time to clean up. And some people in the Back Mountain section of Luzerne County have a lot of cleaning up to do. Right now, damage from Friday's storm is estimated at $500,000. Skycam 16 took to the air today to survey tornado damage here in Sweet Valley. Officials now say the twister did touch down here, but what happened at Harveys Lake is now being called a downburst. Now you can take a look at the damage that a downburst can cause. In all, 4 homes are destroyed, between 5 and 7 businesses, major damage. Up to 50 homes also have major damage, and about 40 homes, minor damage. Newswatch 16's Marisa Burke says even though that damage is heavy, there should be money available to help out those who were hit.
The cleanup work here at Harveys Lake continued in the wake of Friday's storm. Cleanup work and repair jobs that would cost a lot of money.
Okay, now the cottage is the one that the tree came down the road. His home is the one that only had broken windows.
And residents affected by the storm were in to file their damage reports in hope of seeing some financial help.
Well, I'm looking for anything that'll help fix what damage has been done to my home, you know. I'm not looking for any extra money or anything, just what I really need, you know.
So if you get any money, it would certainly help out?
Why, oh, it would make a big difference, yes. It would help a lot.
One worry that several residents had was how to pay to remove all the fallen trees away from the properties, like the one you see here. But now the county will pay for that up until the middle of the week. That was part of the good news from county officials, that and paying for other cleanup work needed at Harveys Lake and Sweet Valley.
That was a big concern of ours. We were going to allocate it whether we had the money or not. With the county's help, it's going to alleviate any of our financial burdens.
County officials also say the money is there for homeowners whose insurance won't cover all of the damage. Exactly how much will be needed to get this area back on track won't be known until all the damage estimates are in. Marisa Burke, Newswatch 16, Harveys Lake.
Some people in Lehigh County are looking for money to help them recover from their own tornado. Storm damage in Macungie is estimated at $250,000. This is what it looked like last Friday after the tornado hit. Tonight, Civil Defense and Macungie Borough officials will meet. Newswatch 16 will be there. Authorities will hand out forms to those people whose homes were damaged but are not insured. Then the state will decide whether they're eligible for Small Business Administration loans. Officials in Susquehanna County are still trying to find out what made a freight train jump the tracks last night. It happened here in Lathrop Township, right outside of Nicholson. Skycam 16 has the best vantage point. You can see the long line of D&H cars involved in the derailment, about 46 cars in all. Now, several of those cars ran off the track and down an embankment. No one was hurt and no dangerous materials were on board. Officials are still trying to clean up that mess in Susquehanna County. Work crews from PP&L had some live wires to deal with this morning as they tried to turn the lights back on in a section of Scranton. Police tell us that someone apparently hopped into this tractor, started it, then drove off here at Luzerne Street. The tractor knocked down a pole, ripping out a couple of PP&L power lines. Electricity in that area of Scranton was out for about an hour before crews were able to restore service. In Factoryville, Wyoming County, the problem tonight is a lack of water. Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini says the search for the leak is on, but it might last for several days.
Stephanie Steenback getting a cup of water, not from the sink, but a jar. Her mother, Christine Steenback, has pots of water all over the kitchen. Water to most homes in Factoryville was cut indefinitely Sunday morning.
The first thing we did was fill all the pans that we could find. When they told us the water would be shut off so that we could use them for cooking and drinking purposes. And we also went to the spring near Lake Sheridan and filled up all the water jugs that we could find.
Several miles outside of town, somewhere underground in this undeveloped area, is a leaking pipe. Workers searching say it could be days before they find the leak. Factoryville's water system is operated by National Utilities Incorporated of Scranton. The company has come under severe criticism from borough officials.
They're not doing as much as can be done. It's 2.5 miles of swamp that the major break is supposed to be in. They have one small crew working on it. It is our feeling that they should have practically an army.
National Utilities is headquartered in the Loma Enterprises building in Scranton. Contacted in the afternoon, Ralph Loma, president of the water company, told Newswatch 16 there could be 4,000 people working there and it won't make any difference until they find that leak. In the meantime, Factoryville's small grocery store can't stock enough bottled water.
It's very inconvenient.
Running right through Factoryville is the Tunkhannock Creek. The people here tell us that sewage runs into this creek, so they won't be able to drink from it, even though they can use it to flush their toilets. That means borough officials are trying desperately to get a water tank here for drinking purposes. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, Factoryville.
Newswatch 16 continues with people asking for a dam they can depend on. Plus, later on, we'll take a ride on the Pennsylvania Road to visit with a man who puts up with a lot to be close to his love. Those stories next as Newswatch 16 continues.
We're getting ready to have some fun in a good cause.
Helping big brothers and big sisters help kids.
The more people who bowl, the more money that'll roll in.
So be a sponsor.
Be a bowler. Help kids who need someone to look up to.
Get the whole story.
Call your local Big Brothers, Big Sisters agency. Join the big team.
Bowl for kids' sake.
In Scranton, officials from the Department of Environmental Resources are doing testing in the neighborhood where an illegal toxic waste dumping operation was in business. Fumes from toxic waste dumped by the William Lavelle and Son Company are coming up the boreholes at this garage at Kaiser Avenue. DER is using a dye to see if the sewage systems in local homes are hooked up to the borehole. DER wants to know why the chemical fumes are coming up so many years after the dumping took place. Also in Scranton, fire inspectors have taken on another job, helping city engineers inspect buildings. Now, along with checking for fire violations, they're checking all downtown buildings for structural problems. The effort is being made to ensure the downtown buildings are safe after a VFW building at Franklin and Lackawanna fell down, taking a furniture store next door. Fire officials are helping out because the city engineering department doesn't have enough manpower to check all downtown buildings in a short period of time. More problems tonight for the Fabridam in Northumberland County. It seems every summer we tell you about troubles at that unusual dam that's made out of rubber. You might be wondering why officials just don't rip it out and put in a different type of dam. Well, Newswatch 16's Craig Stevens wondered the same thing, and here's what he found out.
Built back in 1968, the Fabridam at Sunbury was designed to create a man-made lake on the river that could be drained if there was a danger of flooding. Well, you can see for yourself how the years have taken their toll. There are patches over holes on all the bags, and water runs over others. There are even 2 bags that have yet to be repaired from last year's damage. The Fabridam here at Sunbury is actually that. It's a fabric dam made of 7 inflatable bags like this one that fill up with air and keep the water back. Right now, the river's too high for crews to repair the dam, but there are constant problems here, and boaters say they're never sure if there's going to be enough water for recreation day to day. That's why they're sending a petition to the state asking them to do something about it.
Every year since I've been down here, it's been broke at least 3-4 weekends a year. So you buy a whole lot of equipment and come down here to boat, and you can't boat. All you're doing is making the payments on a boat, and you can't use it.
You come down here to enjoy yourself, take your time off from work, you get your vacation, you can't go out. You can't take your boat out, so you're stuck.
Now, whether or not that petition does any good remains to be seen. The United States Army Corps of Engineers says they don't want a permanent concrete dam at Sunbury. They're afraid that during a time of flooding, the dam would just send the floodwaters right back into the city. Craig Stevens, Newswatch 16, Sunbury.
Our Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark is next with the forecast. And Tom, it doesn't feel like July. It's a little chilly out.
Feels like September out there now. Well, people have been asking when's it going to warm up again, and the answer is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Jane Adamizio.
And I'm Chad Booth. Tonight, PM Magazine is going to take aim at the Bear Creek Summer Camp and Conference Center.
A lot of great things come out of the Allentown area. One of them is Laura Jill Miller. She's the star of Gimme a Break.
He's not going for just any plane ride. Doug Benfield flies B-1 bombers.
Then, Halloween in the middle of summer. Nope, it's San Francisco's Beta Breakers, the world's largest fun-loving foot race.
That's tonight at 7 on WNEP TV 16.
Part of South Main Street in Wilkes-Barre was blocked for a short time early this afternoon. A fire broke out between the first and second floors of Blum Brothers department store, but it was quickly put out. Firefighters say an overheated wire touched a floor beam, and that touched off the flames. Blum Brothers in Wilkes-Barre was not closed by that fire. Well, I know a lot of people are wondering what happened to July. We're supposed to have hot, summery weather, Tom. What's going on?
We're supposed to, but I wouldn't say it's unusual to have something like this in the middle of July. Temperatures dropping down well below normal. Last night out in Sullivan County in Lopez, my weather spy out that way called me up and said it got down to 33 last night out there. It was a heavy dew. It was almost a frost in July last night in Sullivan County. This cool wave will last a few more days, and then things will heat up, it looks like, along about the middle of the week. We'll look at more some tornado damage from Skycam 16 in just a minute. But now, in the backyard, let me show you what it feels like. And the reading is, we're up there around 70 degrees. Okay, the humidity is 51%. The wind is light, the barometer is falling, and the air quality not available today, but I suspect that there were no health problems with today's air. I would think it was good quality air today. Look at that high. That's why only 73 this afternoon. You can see the normal high for this date there of 82. The record high, 103, and that is the hottest temperature on record for the whole year in the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, set back in 1936. Good day to play outside today in Charles Street Park in South Wilkes-Barre. Some gray clouds overhead. The rainfall from last Friday and Saturday night, courtesy of the Northeastern Environmental Council in Scranton, the pH of that rain, 2.94. Now, lemon juice is 2. So that's one of the lowest values I've seen coming out of Wilkes College, where they take the measurement. So usually between about 4 and 5 is considered the normal acidity of rainfall, but anything down that low, that's something to be concerned about. Tornado damage. Let's take a look at it from the air, Skycam 16. I wanted to show you, now take a look here. This path just cut wide open in that stand of trees there, and then all these trees lying pretty much like so, but here's one here lying this way, and one sort of skewed that way. Indications of perhaps a tornado. This from the Sweet Valley section. Now up towards Harveys Lake. Once again, these trees laying from left to right. Now take a look at that there. All in a straight line, indicating not tornadic winds, but straight line wind damage, downburst winds coming out of the base of a thunderstorm. Oh, there's a barn that was just completely demolished there from those straight line winds. And of course, the very localized damage here. Look at that, just 10 feet away, the house not even touched. And this one just completely demolished right there. Very interesting footage there. Try to figure out is it a tornado or straight line winds, and it was both in this case. Here's the satellite picture coming up. Clouds over Pennsylvania, the clouds west of Pennsylvania, some showers this way. This air mass is hot. Up in the 90s out in Springfield, 103 out in Kansas. That air is going to try to work its way in tomorrow. Now here's my forecast for tonight. It goes like this. Moonlit clouds overhead. Maybe a sprinkle in some places, but that's it. 59 in Troy, near 60 over the viewing area tonight. And then coming up for tomorrow, a cool day, a cloudy day. There may be a thunder shower in some areas. Temperatures getting up to the lower 70s, middle 70s, that's about it. Sunrise and sunset looks like this, 5:40, and the sunset's now at 8:37. Okay, that thunder shower or shower threat tomorrow, and then 86 on Wednesday, thunderstorm likely Thursday, Friday looks okay. So the warm air, Karen, is going to try to work its way back in. The transition is tomorrow.
Yeah, I want some sunshine, Tom.
I know.
Boy,
Keep
it's
the
getting
swimming
bad.
suit handy. Keep it handy.
Okay, we'll see you later. Newswatch 16 continues with Joe's Zone and the sports. Tonight, the weekend wrap. Plus, Joe will start a special series on the Los Angeles Summer Olympics.
It's free, it's for the whole family, and it's guaranteed to be a lot of fun. It's the second annual Pennsylvania Outdoor Life's Free Family Fish and Fun Day. Plan now to join us Saturday at 9 a.m. at Lackawanna State Park. We've got a pan fishing contest planned, great prizes to give away, plus much more. The contest is free and admission is free. Pick up a picnic lunch and bring the whole family to Lackawanna State Park for Pennsylvania Outdoor Life's Free Family Fish and Fun Day. I'll see you there.
So, Joe, who are you taking in the All-Star game tonight?
American League, tomorrow night.
I mean, tomorrow night, I'm sorry.
You're getting ahead of us. We're at the break. The game is 8:30 tomorrow night, San Francisco, and you can see it here on 16. Starting pitcher for the National League, Montreal's Charlie Lee. For the American League, Toronto's Dave Steve. It's the Canada connection. And at the halfway point, the Mets, the Padres, the Tigers, and the White Sox are in first place. Some of that happened over the weekend, as you'll see in the weekend wrap. Baseball's biggest story is in the National League East. The Phillies, the Cubs, and the Mets, to say the least, in first by 3 thanks to a 5-game sweep of the Reds. The Mets leading the pack. Serious fans are shaking their heads. In tennis, no doubt who this sport's best players are. It's Martina and John McEnroe, the leaders by far. Navratilova took Cressy in 2 simple sets. And for McEnroe, Jim Connors was his easiest match yet. The USFL is 1 game from the end at last. The winners of Philly, Arizona might better cash those championship checks fast. A golf playoff at Westchester. You'll know the winner soon. I don't think it was Greg Norman, but Watson, I presume. But the most unusual play came on a fly ball that was anything but routine. Ricky Henderson's shot struck a bird on the beam. Its death in the outfield left no room for joy. But at least it was decent, thanks to a quick-thinking bat boy. Tonight, we begin a 5-part series on the Olympics. We open with reporter Ted Dawson in Los Angeles and a trip down memory lane.
Los Angeles Coliseum, where the track and field portion of the Olympics will be held. And of course, this is where the Olympics will officially get underway. It's been 8 years since America has had summer Olympic heroes to cheer for, but starting on July 28th, here at the Coliseum, at the swim stadium just down the road, and throughout Southern California, America will really have some heroes to look up to. Americans have made heroes of our Olympians since Jim Thorpe, clear back in 1912. Of course, there was the great Jesse Owens in Adolf Hitler's 1936 Berlin Games. Recently, there was Bob Beamon jumping out of the pit in Mexico City in 1968. Mark Spitz and his 7 gold medals in Munich back in 1972. And then came 1976 in Montreal with boxing hero Sugar Ray Leonard and decathlon champion Bruce Jenner. But that was 8 years ago, and America is badly in need of some summer Olympic heroes.
In general, kids and a lot of people were looking for heroes, and the Olympics here in Los Angeles definitely has been able to give it to them.
I think we'd love to be those heroes. We really want to go out there and show the world that USA could be up there with the Chinese in gymnastics, and I think this is the best time to prove it.
We're going to have so many heroes come out of this Olympic Games in all sports that we're going to breed a whole generation of young people that are going to be excited and enthusiastic about the Olympic Games, that it will more than make up for what happened in 1980.
I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night.
There will be many heroes during this 23rd Olympiad. Despite the Soviet bloc pullout, despite the criticisms of the so-called Spartan Olympics, this is a chance for American athletes to shine. And tomorrow, we will show you how ABC plans to bring you that entire Olympic story. This is Ted Dawson reporting for ABC.
And tonight, an all-star break series on the Phillies. We'll start that tonight.
Okay, good. I think they're all heroes anyway.
They are. They got there, didn't they?
They sure did. Okay, see you later. And stay with us. I smell the smoke and steam, and that means a trip on the Pennsylvania Road. Tonight, we'll visit a man whose backyard is filled with the huffing and puffing of steam engines. Stay with us.
You can enjoy summertime fun throughout northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
Tonight, Newswatch 16's Man on the Pennsylvania Road, Mike Stevens, has a story of love and trains. It's the tale of a Jim Thorpe man who puts up with a lot to be near that love.
Campers do this a lot, carry water in from a faucet someplace. Campsites don't have running water, and neither does George Hart's house. So each day George has to go out and haul some in for things like washing up and shaving.
Well, it doesn't seem like work, and I really don't think I've put myself through anything particular. It's just come naturally. And
George doesn't have electricity in here either, so each day he needs to fill the kerosene lamps for the night ahead. George's house is a bit noisy with the trains running right nearby, but his home fits right in. You'd expect an old wreckmaster's car parked in a place like this.
Now, this one is equipped with an office for the wreckmaster, with bunks for 8 men and closets likewise, a fully equipped kitchen, and what I call a lounge section, which is really where they ate.
This car was meant to be lived in, and George does that. So there are all the trappings of a home in it. But there's also signs of its former glory, painted over brass fixtures and gold striping on the ceiling of the area that is now George's living room, complete with easy chair, and a window that fronts on Route 209 in downtown Jim Thorpe. George will tell you he lives here because it's convenient and practical. It is right close to work. For on weekends and summer holidays, his steam engine goes out on tours from here, pulling folks by the carload back into the past. George's Locomotives is one of those broad-based beauties, a little heavy at 102 tons maybe, but still sleek of line. George Hart knows what this locomotive can do to you.
When it's under steam, it's night, it's summertime, the engine is quiet, and you can walk around it on your own. Really, if you ignore the sounds of traffic on 209, you don't know what year you're living in, really. It can be 1912 when the engine was built.
For George, living in his old wreckmaster's car with his steam engine right out the back door, home is where the heart is. I'm Mike Stevens, Newswatch 16, on the Pennsylvania Road in Jim Thorpe.
Pennsylvania Road's a fun place to be. And that's Newswatch 16 for this Monday. Be sure to join us tonight on The Update when we'll tell you about some Lehigh County residents who are hoping for some help to recover from their tornado. World News Tonight is next for the entire team, including Nolan, who has the night off. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back at 11. Enjoy your evening.